and now that you've stayed in India for over a week, where have you changed your view most drastically after you've met companies and you've interacted with investors within this trip?
No, really, it's just kind of the trip's more confirmed my previous views. So there's a greater optimism on the capex, I would say, than what I was fully aware of. The property market, on the property market, it's actually stronger, but the thing is, it's not, the one weakness on the property market is in the affordable housing area. So all the actions in the middle segment and the high-end segment.
If the Indian economy moves from $3 trillion to $5 trillion, what we debate every day, it's not if, it's the time duration, whether it's 2 years, 3 years or 5 years. But if the economy goes from 3 trillion to 5 trillion in 3 to 4 years, where do you think the earning entrepreneurship engine would be unleashed? Where do you think, which sector do you think will see the maximum tailwind?
Well, no, there's another whole thing going on, which is a new development. That's obviously the hope that India can build real manufacturing
supply chain.
And this is partly based on the production-linked incentive schemes, but more importantly, is based on this fundamental reality that all these multinationals, particularly US multinationals, can no longer afford to have all their eggs in one basket in China. So the best example of that is clearly Apple. Apple had all its production in China because China is the most efficient place to produce. It still is. But if I'm running Apple, another major US concern, given this geopolitics right now, you have to build another production facility somewhere else because you have the risk that one day the US Congress orders you out of China. Because it's become clear over the last year and more that the US multinationals in China, be they Apple, be they JP Morgan, be they Nike, have no lobbying power with the US Congress because there's the one area we have consensus in Washington amongst these two major political parties is on the China bashing. So they've got to move production. So India has one huge advantage over the other competitors for that production move, which I would say are primarily Vietnam, in Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia. On a 20-year view, India offers this big domestic market, as well as being so if India can provide the infrastructure to attract this manufacturing, then you really have a potential on a 10-year view to build critical mass in manufacturing. So I think that's the big new development. But obviously it's very early days.
Why is that there's no IT in your portfolio? Because typically if you look at the India appeal, it starts with banks, there's IT right in the middle, and then there are consumer durables or consumer companies in the center. You don't have consumer discretionary in your model portfolio, and I think, yeah, I can say it officially zero IT.
No, I never have IT, but it's not really my area. But no, there's nothing wrong with the IT company. There's an interesting conceptual argument, which I don't know the answer to, which is how will the IT sector cope with AI? I've got, my base case is I'll be able to manage it, but I've got no inside track on that. Personally, right short term, I would favor staple consumers over discretionary consumers. But this is just tactical.
Have you used ChatGPT to write your greed and fear index?
I will never use ChatGPT, but I've never used Facebook. It doesn't stop Facebook going up a lot. So so ChatGPT is kind of irritating actually, because I was hoping this was, I'm always biased in favor of Asian emerging markets. So Asian emerging markets were set up to outperform this year if China had come back normally, but this AI story, as soon as ChatGPT happened, is created a narrative for the US tech sector which didn't exist.
You know, the food placed on the table, guess what, has been ordered on Zomato. Yeah. And Zomato is part of your portfolio. I'm wondering why
I've just added Zomato because I've been under pressure to put that in my portfolio since the IPO, but obviously I didn't. But I think now it's in the long run, this is a very straightforward play on Indian consumption, and the total market cap is very small relative to the potential addressable market. And based on what I've been told, only 6% of the Indian population apparently currently pay for things digitally.
So, Chris, there are a couple of last follow-up questions, and I promise I'll not extend our appointment beyond that. Last 12 to 18 months, we've been in a cycle of interest rate hike globally and locally. And typically when that happens, hard assets do well. Growth stocks, they underperform. Now perhaps we could be in reverse of that. So do you think globally growth stocks could make a comeback? Guess what? I mean, you've got Nvidia, which has already become $1 trillion company.
No, but Nvidia is different, you see. So I put Nvidia in my global portfolio that when I realized this GB chat story, because in this, we don't know which form of AI will really take off. So what you want to try and own is the picks and shovels of AI. And apparently it seems to be the case that people need NVIDIA's GPUs to do AI. So that explains why. And basically, the tech sector, as I was saying, now has a new story. Because first quarter, people were buying all the semiconductor stocks before on the argument that the demand's recovering, but actually all the demand estimates for PCs, smartphones, and regular servers are still going down. So this whole GB chat has just created a new narrative, and you have a spectre of unlimited growth. So that gives a story back to the tech sector.
You know, it's